Ooh, happy Monday, everybody. We're going to talk about pulling the trigger straight. So let's get right into it. Hi, Ben. In your and Joel's explanations of pressing the trigger, you describe it in terms of ramp through or roll the pressure like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in opposition to press the trigger like an on off switch or roll the pressure to the wall. Yeah, so I'm not really an advocate of prep press. I don't really like that very much. Instead, like the ramp, the roll through the ramp, I kind of like that concept. I lose the difference between stack pressure and roll through and switch on and off when I try to press the trigger as fast as I can. Could you please give some advice on this? Sure. So, what this guy's talking about is when he's pressing the trigger as fast as he can, I think, there's not much of a distinction between these things. And you know what? I actually totally agree. And that's why I conceptualize it the way that I do. So, for example, if I prep then press, it's like you can conceptualize pressing the trigger that way, but nobody is doing that really, really fast. Like nobody's doing that. So when we're shooting 5 rounds a second, it's going to basically look like this. It's gonna, like everybody's fingers going to, basically look the same. Um, the one variation there'll be is how much movement there is in the finger, where guys that emphasize trying to just release the trigger to the reset point only, so just to reset and then press through, they're maybe going to move their finger a little bit less, but probably trigger freeze more. I don't think it really affects the speed of the shooting. All right. And this is kind of like this issue where, hey, at the high speeds, all these things kind of blur together. Like I totally agree with that. And that's why like I conceptualize it in a way that works at high speed, which everyone's doing the same thing, right? Pulling the trigger, super aggressively, super fast. And like what you need, right, from a training perspective is the ability to do this and not put input into the gun, like push the gun left, low left, something like that, as you sympathetically move muscles in your hand that aren't your trigger finger. Like everybody needs to have the skill to do that, in my opinion. Now, when things get complicated is when you start like shooting targets where it's like pulling the trigger that way is just not going to work, or you have to get more confirmation off the sights before you pull the trigger. That's where the way you conceptualize things kind of matters, if that makes sense. And that's why I like that. Hey, just stack the pressure on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I keep doing the same thing I would do fast. I'm just doing a little more, like a little bit slower, and I'm conscious to make sure that I don't like influence the gun, push it left or push it low as I'm pressing the trigger. So it's like I do the same thing fast when I shoot targets where it's like, all right, I'm gonna have to press the trigger more carefully to make sure I press it straight. I just keep doing the same motion again, just a little bit more, consciously and deliberately, depending on what the shot demands. So if it's like, I don't know, 15-yard A zone, instead of it looking like that, it'll look like that, where it's like basically the same thing. I was just slightly more careful. Whereas if the target's 100 yards away and I need to, roll the pressure on really carefully, it'll look like that, where I just like roll the pressure in really carefully. So I think a good way to explain it to you is like what Joel and I are trying to do is like give you a concept that works when you're shooting fast and when you're shooting slow. Like you can conceptualize it the same way, and it kind of works for you. Whereas other things like prep and press, it's like you're not doing that fast. Like that's not happening. Or like ride the reset. Well, you can do that, but I think that's problematic under certain circumstances. Instead of doing those things, like we like to give people a way to conceptualize trigger pressing that works under a variety of circumstances. That's all. So that's the advice. You know. Anyway, hope you find that helpful. If you got questions or comments, put it down below.